Hi everyone. I feel like oh my gosh, my screen is the wrong way. Maybe it's yes, it is. One second, y'all. I switched to my like Halloween screen. You guys get to see the back end of everything. Haha. All right. There we go. That's correct. Um, how are you guys doing today? I feel like I have a lot going on here. Let's kind of make a little bit more space. Move these guys over. All right. So we're going to be doing readings from the Citadel Oracle deck and the Night's Visions Tarot. I'm so excited because, well, it's spooky season and I've waited 5 ever to find a deck to pair with this deck, and I'm happy to pull it out again. I have these new decks, so let me read off what I have. Before I start my community read, I have the the Supremes Small City Oracle, the Tiny Teacup Pocket Oracle, and the Mini Moonlight Pocket Oracle. I'm very excited to try them out because I just got them. They were a Kickstarter from, oh gosh, I always forget her name, Artuna. Let me see. All right, guys, make sure you use !join to join the queue. And my endless oracle ship, like, this has been a really good week. Athene Noctuna. Okay. Ooh, fun out of town visit for you, Sil. Are you in the wedding or are you just going to the wedding? All right, let's do our community read. This is, again, the Citadel Oracle deck. Very excited to use this. Okay. You have a wedding in January, and I've been waffling on what I want to wear. I literally have dresses. I could just wear them, but I'm waffling. All right. Gonna just pull them all at the same time. I kind of like to do that with this deck. All right, so we have the sorry, I'm gonna switch this music a bit. So we have the Brawler, the Pathless, and then the Scholar. The Brawler is all about lacking empathy and really feeling like you have to be confrontational. So I feel like this week might have been a highly contentious week for some of us. We're going into the weekend with a lot of that energy and feeling maybe feeling a little on because of that. Oh, I'm sorry, Sil, that you have to spend money. So I feel like I mean, this, I relate a lot to this. So starting off the community read here, I definitely feel that. I definitely feel, the points in this past week that have been a little combatant, a little like I kind of had to find, like, kind of like I had to fight for like presence almost, fight for authority. So this relates, I feel like I relate a lot to this. Going on to the pathless, difficult decisions, lack of direction. I think that these play very well together because it feels like if you have been feeling like you kind of need to tighten up and toughen up and confront a few things, a lot of times that means you need to make difficult decisions in doing so, a lot of times in how you approach the situation and like how you handle people and just like what decisions actually have to be made. Sometimes there's no winning overall. And being at the center of the reading here, this pathless card makes it feel like this week might have been a little wobbly for a lot of us. Kind of like you were kind of being pulled in every which way, and that means you're kind of ending the week off feeling a little directionless as we go into the weekend. So kind of turning that energy around, I would say, as we go into the weekend, recenter yourselves, reground yourselves. That way you can reset from the week behind and put a better foot forward for the week ahead. And then we have the scholar. My lights just a little bit. We have the scholar here. This is our investigation and research. So, if you reflect on how the week has gone and how you handled the situation, I think this scholar card is asking you to take lessons learned from the week behind and how we can apply them for the week ahead. So that way, maybe we don't have those same difficulties transitioning from our past work week into our future work week, or even just transitioning into the weekend with us. Because it kind of depends on, everybody kind of has a different work week, right? So to speak. But, just overall, not allowing that energy to transition with you. But I think overall, this just shows that we kind of had maybe I don't know, maybe it's just me, a tough week, a bit of a tough week, and allowing yourself to break away from a lot of that tough energy as we go into the weekend, as we go into the next week. So if you can't be new here, I mean, you could just not be typing because it's still subscribers only. I'm going to open it up in a second before I start the readings. No, Hudson, what are we referring to? Sorry, I'm scrolling up. But no, the rules didn't change. So just a reminder, y'all, I do Black Widow. Hi, how are you doing? What did you go through? Let me know so I know where to check. So remember that I do free readings. I do not do readings about other people's feelings because I feel like it's a little invasive, and it is not very empowering. So Black Widow, just so you know, I kind of switched my rules up a little bit. I have a link that is linked in the pin post, and I was just clarifying. I think because I didn't post it, I was just kind of clarifying that I say that a lot, Hot Sun. So as part of the hopes that I don't have to um oh, rejoin. Wait, no. Oh, no, I kind of already always had that rule. I did not enforce it, and Luke told me to enforce that rule. Sorry. So Black Widow, the way that I am structuring things is since you tipped, you kind of skip the queue. I'll still give you the same like basic 3-card reading. I just might pull like maybe an extra oracle card as something to think about it, but your general reading is going to be the same. And then I have a mini reading, and then I have a full reading linked in my pinned post and in the description. So I just want to reset because I know I don't think I've seen you in a while. So as of course I appreciate you tipping. Yeah, they bullied me into following my own rules. So, Black Widow, since you tipped, you can skip ahead. Let me know what your question is, and then let me read off who all I have into the chat or in the queue. Oh my God, words, Brittany. All right, so I have Mariana, I have Four, Hot Sun, and Shiloh. Let's switch the music. I'm not feeling this. It's like very energetic, and I'm just not in the mood. So this one never works. There we go. Hi, Alana. How are you doing? Let me get this all shuffled while we wait for Hot Sun. I'm reading Hot Sun's post while we wait for Black Widow. My brain is all over the place. I had an interview today, so I feel like my brain is like, ugh. This is like the mental equivalent of so I don't do third-party readings, but if you want something different, I'm happy to read about that. Yeah, guys, even if you tip or pay for a mini read, I still offer the same type of readings. I won't offer like how people feel, what they're thinking, their intentions. I would rather focus on centering the reading around you. Because honestly, like low key, who cares how they felt? Like, what are you going to do about it if they hated it? Oh, let me grab my water. Ooh. Oh my gosh. I just made the biggest mess. Y'all ever have a water bottle that when you open it, it literally just spits at you? Okay, Black Widow, let's see. General reading. Let's just pull, since you were nice enough to tip, like overall energy here, or card to think about. Ooh, okay, let's do. Okay, this is part of our community read, so I feel like you are tapping into a lot of the energy we were talking about earlier, at least part of it, so to speak. Let's see what our next card is. All right. So we have the Knight of Cups, ooh, the Knight of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. You have all major arcana, or not major. Oh my god, I'm losing it, y'all. I'm having a day. Um you have court cards here and two knights. So, and these are the slower moving knights, which I really enjoy. So, we started off with this pathless card where it's about like having to make difficult decisions, but feeling ultimately directionless. I think with these two knights here is just indicative of like finding your direction. One facet of it is feeling emotionally like you are striving towards something that would be emotionally fulfilling. And then the other side of it is something that feels physically tangible to you, and then combine it into one. So I think the importance of it is leaning towards this Knight of Pentacles since it's centered in your reading. So this tells me that Black Widow, it's really like time for you to start to take some action, start to embrace that movement forward. Knights imbue that energy of fire. I think that they are ambitious overall. They are very willing to fight for their goals and strive towards their achievement or finding achievements and achieving their goals, so to speak. But the Knight of Pentacles is very like the epitome of slow and steady wins the race. Paired with this King of Swords, it tells me that this is a bit of a journey of maturity where this is where you're starting to take some of this action. And then we have the King here, which says you can sit and survey your kingdom. And we have cups, we have pentacles, we have swords, all kind of playing together in this aspect. So I feel like as we're transitioning, certain things are a little easier, and then it's like the challenge gets harder as we go along, right? So the Knight of Cups, really, when I describe this to you, what would you envision to be emotionally fulfilling for you? What is something that you can just feel like you can embrace and it would make you happy, and just you feel like you can build a strong connection with? And then the other side of this, as we go along, right? You've identified those things. Where can you start to set down some roots? Where can you start to build up from the foundation and start to really sorry, I'm gonna open up my queue real quick while I'm thinking about it. Where can you start to really set down the groundwork for things to come in the future? This can really reflect on a few different aspects of our lives. A lot of people associate pentacles with money or career, and it absolutely can be that, but it can also be your health. It could be your home life. It could be, buying a home or something like that. There are goals in the physical, and that you are probably, like, as I'm talking, probably coming to mind. Add that to the list, metaphorical or real list, whether you keep track of stuff like that. And then the King of Swords, ending on the King of Swords is really awesome. It's asking you to find the confidence to oversee your own domain as the king. The kings are very logical, very intelligent. So this is more so relying on that side of yourself. Whereas, like, if the queen had popped up, for example, this is more so relying on the more intuitive side. So I feel like this is all about planning and setting those plans into action and being very deliberate and thoughtful in how you approach situations and how you maintain situations. And ultimately, the King of Swords is the most cerebral king, in my opinion, of the kings. So, like, he is the one who really wants to look at things from a very, very logical perspective. So while you're starting this journey off emotionally and finding the things that you emotionally connect to, when it comes to the true maturity of the situation, you are not leading by emotion. You're definitely leading by logic and understanding and your overall intelligence and knowledge of a situation. Luna. Luna's being a crybaby. Alrighty, up next we have Mariana. Go ahead, put your question in the chat. Hi, Steph. Welcome to the queue. Mariana, did I do this reading for you? I've done a few October readings, so I might be mixing you up. Did I already do a reading for you for October? Okay. All right, let's see what October has in store for you. Do you want to go up east? You do? Meow. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Queen Luna. No worries. Please be safe, Black Widow. Safety over everything, especially tarot. All right, let's see. Oops. So, we have a wands here. I feel like October is going to be a high energy month. We have the Nine of Wands and the Page of Wands. So, the Nine of Wands kind of tells me that things are already going on, like things from September might transition into October, and then October is about kind of being resilient through that energy that is transitioning with you into the month. But you're like, whatever that energy is, whatever that stuff that is going on with you, I think that October is not going to be the month that you fully close it out, but it will be the month that you start to feel like you can take control over it, just not fully. So the Nine of Wands is about feeling resilient, feeling like you kind of have to fight through or fight against the odds, and you can see this person trudging through the wilderness, so to speak. And the Page of Wands, pages are the more studious of the courts, who like to who kind of like to sit and understand the situation. So Wands has that fire energy, pages are more of that earth energy. So there's high energy with the Wands, but very rooted energy with the Page. So I think it's going to take a while for you to be able to understand the situation that's going on. And I feel like in October, because of that, you're going to have to sit for a little bit and understand your position within it. And a lot of things are going to be moving around you during that time. But the fact that you have the Page of Wands here is, I feel like, a sign that you're starting the process of closing this out. I just don't think October is necessarily going to be the month that it happens. I feel like, at least right now, right? Like tarot is a snapshot in time in the here and now, but I feel like you're going to probably feel that more so, like that closure in November. Alrighty, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna really run to the restroom real quick, and I will be right back. Mods, hang out and chat, and I'll be like literally 5 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. I had an interview earlier and I realized like water is like my emotional support during them, and I had to go. um, okay. Sorry. Scrolling through and catching back up. Oh, okay. Thank you, Steph. Okay, go ahead and post your question. Here you are. And then I have four: Hot Sun, Shallow, and Crystal. Thanks, Mods, for hanging out. I know, Luke, like you have no when I tell you I had this deck for years and I've just been waiting in the wings for a tarot deck to match it. And James R. Eads comes in clutch. All right, Luna, let's go up these again. Don't get down this time. Say hi to your adoring fans. So, Steph, I don't do third party readings. I can just see what the overall situation is in that regard, but it won't necessarily be from the perspective of like any of your sisters. Because like and the reason for that is my goal with readings is to empower you guys to take control in whatever ways that you can. And if your sister is going to tell your other sister, what are you going to do about it? And if she gets mad at you, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? I know. I love how you're just like, I'm in the middle. Y'all won't stop telling me, and I don't want to be dragged into this. All right. Let's see what the overall situation is. Oh my God, Luna. All right. So, it's definitely tumultuous, but I feel like overall no actions I feel like have been made yet in general. I feel like you are kind of sitting in the middle here as this hermit. But we have the Two of Swords, the Hermit, the Seven of Wands. Two of Swords to me tells me that like no true path has been decided yet. All parties involved, including you right now, are kind of like at a precipice. You're at a crossroads in terms of what's going to happen. So that tells me just like energetically that no one has really made a decision on what their next move is going to be. But you are still, I feel like the hermit here stuck in the middle. And the hermit card is about self reflection. So I think this card being in the middle of the reading is really asking you, how do you, if things go either which way, whether favorably for you, how are you going to handle things in the future so maybe you don't get put so much in the middle? Or if things have kind of already gone down the path that they're going to go down, how can you control or like um handle things as they delve down that path, right? You commented on stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's just hard being in the middle. It's just not a favorable position to be in overall. Um, so then we have the Seven of Wands here. Seven of Wands is like asking you to persevere through this situation. There's like an overall sense of success there. So I think that whether they get mad or not, whether things happen, um, if you stay rooted within yourself, which is why this Hermit card I think is popping up, I think that you'll be able to maintain your self control and your sense of control over the situation and just kind of let them be almost like this storm cloud that is in the peripherals of you. Because the Seven of Wands is riding the high of the victory of the Six of Wands and really feeling like they are persevering, feeling like they are finding ways to maintain control over the things around them the best that they can. I mean, right, you can't really control people, but you can control your boundaries. You can control like things like setting expectations and being very deliberate and not being pulled into like just the drama and the nonsense of it all, so to speak. So I think that at the core of it, this is really asking you, like just know that nothing is happening necessarily right now. But I think one of the actions that you can take is decide, if things go a little sideways, how are you going to act? The Hermit is telling you to sit and think about it. What are your boundaries? What are some expectations you can set for people and tell people? Things like that. And then being able to hold to those boundaries that you set and being able to um essentially being able to stick to your guns on those things. So, I think if I zoomed all the way out on this and were to summarize this, it's like don't get sucked into other people's nonsense, even though you feel like you're in the middle. And then zooming in, it's saying, how can you better set boundaries so that doesn't happen? I like how you're like, yeah, it's my 2 cents. It's so, I feel like I don't have siblings, but I feel like it's hard when people you're invested in are beefing and you kind of want to help resolve it, but you just kind of have to let them beef. Otherwise, you get sucked into one side or another because when people are mad, playing both sides just doesn't play well. Even though you're not technically doing anything wrong. And I will say, my last tip, this is like my own personal example, is based off of what the tarot is saying. If they individually are trying to pull you in and say like, see, so and so is doing this, don't you agree with me? Don't be pulled into that. Alrighty. 4, you are up next. Thank you for being patient while I got my tip folks out of the way. Not out of the way, I feel like that's such a bad way to put it. I don't know why I'm not jiving with any of the music today. I think I'm in a like chaotic kind of energy. What I want. You're welcome, Steph. Feel free to hang out and like chit chat. My mods are hanging out. Um, okay, music. There's So this is the music provided by like my back end setup, and one of them is literally called corporate. And I'm like, is it elevator music? I don't know what to expect. I'll try it out offline. All right, let's get a message from Spirit for you. Hey, cat goddess. Ooh, our second page of the night, we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Swords. So, I feel like Spirit is telling you that just overall understand that whenever, let me back up, whenever the Wheel of Fortune pops up, I always like to caveat and say, like, uh, just understand that the Wheel of Fortune indicates ups and downs. It's the cycle overall that we all go through. Um, so I think that, just right now, Spirit is kind of telling you that you're probably going through a bit of a you're about to transition, I would say, into a bit of an up. And the reason I think it's more so about like starting that transition is this page here. So the page, more of the beginning of our court cards here. This is about being curious about situations and starting to take in new things. And I think that is kind of pairing with the Wheel of Fortune saying, hey, you have some new things popping up that feel good. Maybe you haven't fully embraced them yet, but overall we have this idea that you take the ups with the downs, start to focus on those good things. And as the Page of Swords, specifically, the Page of Swords really, really, really thrives off of curiosity. So things are being brought to you that are very interesting, that you want to know about and learn about. Swords is all about that intellect, that inner energy, and internalizing things. And I think in this aspect, in a good way. So it's like, I feel like this is really a sign to just be a sponge, embrace things that are new to you, that are unique, or things that are changing, and just try to do your best to understand them. You may not figure everything out, so to speak, but you might at least take pieces of those things that you can enjoy and apply in the future. Because the page, I always see the page as our students. They're the studious ones of the court cards. They're the ones that are eager to learn and grow, but they're starting from not knowing that much or not having that much in regards to life experiences. So in embracing this Wheel of Fortune here, I would say ultimately it's a sign of, being able to take those lessons learned from some of the downswings of this wheel, some of the more difficult times, but also taking and applying the good things that are happening so that way you can make them repeatable, or you can start to build that up as a foundation. Alrighty, Hot Sun, you are up next. Where are we in the moon phase? Let me see. I feel like we're almost back at the full moon. When's the full moon for October? Do y'all remember how like 2020 was going to be the full moon on Halloween and it was going to be Friday the 13th and literally COVID happened, so nothing happened on that Halloween? I think it jinxed us. You're welcome. For ooh, the full moon is on Monday. Which means I feel like everybody at work is going to be on some bullshit. Let's see. This is the... What phase is this? This is going to be Pisces going into Aries. Okay. Luna is getting on my nerves, y'all. She wants attention, but she refuses to like stay on my lap, and then she gets upset because she's back on the floor. All right, let's see what your oracle card is. This is just going to be the overall energy for the next 2 weeks. Something to think about. This oracle is less advice-y and more like overall themes and archetypes, in my opinion. Let's see what you have. Ooh, warrior. This is the card of perfectionism and burnout. You have the Eight of Wands, Eight of Cups, and then the Hierophant. This is the second time 2 of the same, like the first 2 cards are the same number or position, rather. So you have it's very interesting. I'm sorry, I'm debating whether I want to start in the center of the reading or not, but I'll just start with the fact that you have 8s. 8s are about change happening. They are the card of like action overall. So this is action emotionally, having or needing to take action emotionally with the 8 of Cups, and then having or needing to take action I guess I'll call it energetically, just overall, with the wands. So this card insinuates burnout, and I can kind of see why. I feel like over the next 2 weeks, there's going to be a lot of changes being thrown at you, a lot of movement, a lot of high energy. And so I always... numerology is so interesting because I always look at like tarot numerology, which seems to be a weird facet of it, which is slightly different. But I do think that I always take into account my clients' like initial inclination, because there's some sort of like general intuition involved in that. So I think that there can be abundance in a kind of way. Maybe it's an abundance of energy that's just being thrown at you in every which way, and you are then being forced to address it. I don't think it's necessarily bad. It just is exhausting. And then you have the Hierophant here at the end. And it's like, okay, in the midst of all of this high energy, in the midst of all of these like changes and whatnot, root yourself in what has been working for you. So you have this like tug of war in terms of these energies, because we have the high movement, high energy of the eights, and then we have the stillness of the Hierophant that feels a little disconnected. So while you might be feeling like a lot of changes are coming your way, that might be, some of which might even be good, honestly, because you were starting to walk away from the things that don't work for you. Therefore, it opens up room for things that are more, um, they meet your inspirations and aspirations, right? But then we have the Hierophant here, which is closing out your reading. And this is all about like there's this weird rootedness. Almost feels like you have a box around you that is hard to get out of. And maybe you struggle to break free of those bounds in that kind of sense, which makes it hard to walk away from certain things. It makes it hard to accept the other things that are coming in. These two energies are kind of fighting each other a little bit. Sorry, had to get some water. So I'm very curious about how that's going to be, but I think over the next 2 weeks, this is the part where, so I have my own preferences in this, but I feel like this is the part where I'd ask you, what do you prefer to happen? Do you want that stillness and traditionalist, maybe that comfort box to last a little bit longer, or would you rather figure out ways to break free of that and embrace this kind of change that's happening here? Because I think what's going to happen is until you resolve how you're going to handle that, it's going to just feel like you're burning yourself out because you are in your own box and all of these energies are being thrown at you until you do something. And it's about making the decision of, are you going to just push these aside, or are you going to push this aside? Because they don't make sense together. But I think that this is something that you want to think about. And generally, when I do like my more in-depth readings, it's more so like we can dive into, what does this look like? What are the actions that it takes? And maybe like, what are the possible results of doing this, so to speak? So I think that you can definitely do this on your own. This isn't something you fully like need me to do, in terms of like self-reflection, maybe writing it down and kind of just being very conscious of it, and how you take or plan or think about those next steps. And it's always something to, obviously you asked about 2 weeks. I'll be here next week, halfway through that mark. So you can always come back and kind of do a check-in. Alrighty, Shiloh, you're up next. Then I have Crystal and Cat Goddess. Let me know you guys are still in the chat. Yeah, Hudson, I don't think that there's anything negative or positive. It just kind of is indicative of a little bit more work needing to happen, and then probably seeing some results. You're welcome, Hot Sun. Hey, Cat Goddess, thanks for letting me know. Let me move these up. So you have the Star card and the Knight of Cups. So this is very interesting. So timing is really nebulous in tarot. I like to pull to see what pops up, but sometimes timing is not very clear, and I feel like it's generally purposeful when that happens. Luna, you're being a brat today. You're being a grade A brat. Um uh, the Knight of Cups gives me a little pause. Um who is Robert to you? Like, how long have you guys known each other? There's this a little bit of hesitancy that I get from this reading that worries me a bit. These cards are very neutral overall. The Star card is about hope and having faith and stuff like that, which in questions like this is generally not a good sign to me. It kind of raises my heckles a little bit. Hackles. That's the word I'm looking for. And what I mean by that is when someone asks you, like, when is this thing that I want gonna happen? And they say something like, keep dreaming. That's not a positive response, so to speak. And that's kind of what I feel in the Star card here. This is the card about having faith. And maybe let me backtrack. Maybe I'm being a little too negative on this and I'm applying my own biases. Let me reset myself. The Star card is about being hopeful, about when I see the Star card overall, it's about I feel like this is the wishes card where you make a wish upon a star kind of thing. And yes, that's exactly right, Nuna. And it's overall just a card of having faith in a situation that you're in. The Knight of Cups paired with the Star card. I know, Luna. The Knight of Cups is a very idealistic card in the sense, like, this is very much a person that follows their own heart. I don't think I'm answering your question, unfortunately. I feel like it feels very nebulous. It feels like a non-answer answer. And I think I'm waffling because I'm on live stream and having to give you a direct answer. But I would take this as this is not it's not clear right now. And I would take this as, with the Star card, maybe just sit and be a little patient and let them go through the emotional journey of having to deal with their dad's health in this situation, and try to, when required of you, provide the space that you need, but then also be available when needed. Because I think that when people deal with, our loved ones being sick, people can be very hot and cold, not intentionally. It's hard to regulate. So yeah, I'm very sorry. This one was a really hard one for me on live for some reason. But I hope I gave you enough, Shiloh, to at least make it worthwhile that you sat and waited for me to give you a reading. Alrighty, Crystal, you are up next. You guys were together for like a year. Wow. That's a good amount of time. I know, Luna. It is a good amount of time, right? Yeah. Thank you, Shiloh, for understanding. I at least tried to be like, you know, one of the reasons I like doing live streams is I'm presented with different energies and presented with different situations. Um, and I hope I learn and grow, but it's also about understanding when, things just aren't connecting in the right way and they don't necessarily feel all the way right. And I think as readers, just being honest about when that happens, which is hard to do on live, right? Because everybody's watching you and like all eyes are on you. But I know, Luna, it's so hard. Crystal, I don't do readings about your ex, or I don't do readings about what other people are gonna do. If you'd like to ask another question, totally happy to do that for you. I know. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy out here. I'm getting the best cat snuggles, y'all. Luna finally came up and say hi. Oh, I wish you guys could hear her purring into the... Maybe you can. I don't know. She has the softest little purrs. So, guys, you'll have to let me know. This is one of my favorite pairings. Are you enjoying these pairings together? What are you thinking? I haven't gotten a chance to use these little mini decks yet. Oh, you did hear it. Yay. Luna, they heard your little purr. Yeah. I call her a high efficiency engine, and Apollo is definitely a muscle car. His purrs, I feel like I can hear him a room over. Oh my gosh, almost the same exact pull. So we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Cups. I think that, you know what? I'll check for you, Robin. I think they sort of do, some of them. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, Five of Cups. I feel like yes and no. I think a few things have to happen. I feel like it's like there on the precipice, Crystal, but like the Wheel of Fortune is indicative of having fortunate things and all of that. But I feel like the Five of Cups is a little bit of a hindrance for you. Five of Cups indicates that, maybe you are focusing a little bit on the negatives and focusing too much on like maybe past indiscretions or past issues that have happened or that you've been involved in, and it's really blocking you from accepting the good things from the wheel. So the Wheel of Fortune And these energies even like conflict with each other, right? So this almost feels like, yeah, you're in the state and it's asking you if you want things to come to you, or if you want to be able to be in a position to accept things coming to you, you need to really be more so of the mindset of understanding that while certain things may not have worked out in the past, um and maybe understanding that not everything will always work out in the future, you're still allowing yourself to open yourself up. So this is like a yes and no. Yes, you definitely can have things coming in, or love coming in for you. It's just, I don't think you're in a position necessarily to receive it in the best way possible. Hey, welcome, Jokul. Jockle. Alrighty, Cat Goddess, go ahead, put your question in the chat. And remember, guys, if you would like a more in-depth reading, I do have my mini reads and my full reads. Luna, oh my God, she's killing me. You're welcome, Crystal. All right, let's see what overall advice they have for you. We have the King of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So two things. Or King of Pentacles. I think I said King of Wands. Sorry. King of Pentacles and Ace of Wands. Part of this is we're getting a lot of court cards, I feel like, as a community. Part of this is part of this advice rather is about being more authoritative and taking more control over the things that you are responsible for or should be responsible for in your life. And the King of Pentacles specifically is very, very good at that. So kings, I mentioned previously, kings imbue that like air energy of the swords, but then we have the earth energy of the pentacles. It can kind of be conflicting sometimes in the sense that, you know, the air energy is really that intellect that the kings embody, and then the earth energy is that stability, but sometimes they want to move past each other. So I would say, you know, like find ways to find alignment in terms of what that physical world around you looks like. So as you're building your domain, this includes your home life, your work life, your physical health, you know, stuff like that. As you are building that up, how are you being mindful about each of those facets, and how are you taking control over each of those facets? The King of Pentacles, like if I were to like just sum up the King of Pentacles into one word as a form of advice, is security. Finding security. And I always say when I do my readings, as I'm talking about stuff, things are firing in your own head, right? So when I say like find security, feel like you can be secure in yourself, or feel like you are secure in your own domain, what does that look like for you? And as something is jogging in your head, right? And this is where the Ace of Wands comes into play. Aces in general are about new beginnings. This is starting off the major arcana, specifically in this case, the wands. This is about feeling like you have playing off of the kings, right? You feel stable enough, you feel confident enough and intelligent enough to really build and create and form your own things based off of your inspirations and passions. And this is where the wands comes in with that fiery energy. um I think there's a really healthy balance. There's a neutralizing between the pentacles and the wands that happens, and that's another aspect of your advice. I feel like is, while the pentacles can be very rooted and grounded, they can be very slow. They can also just be very just stuck, whereas the wand can really push that energy and get it moving forward, but without that stability and rootedness can become a forest fire and uncontrollable. So there's a nice healthy neutrality between these, that I think your spirit guides are also wanting you to find, where your inspirations aren't just, it's nice to have that spark of creativity, but don't let it consume your entire being, right, so to speak. So cat goddess, I think overall you have some pretty good advice about how you can be more in control over your life and feel like you can take some of those aspects and root yourself while still feeling like you have the ability and know-how and authority to um apply it to the things that make you feel creative and make you that inspire you. So I would say to follow up with that, generally I would ask people to, oh man, I would ask people to sit and come up with like actionable things, meaningful things even. Okay, Jokul, you are up next. I'm closing the queue. You are my last but certainly not least. Hi. All right, Robin, I don't know if you're still here, but you were asking if there's like timing or something, I think. Oh, Jock. Okay. Nice to meet you, Jock. Welcome. So, like, for instance, Robin, I think this one down here has like full moon, new moon, waxing moon, waning moon. So it has that sort of loose timing. And then we have this one here has just generically like right time, not the right time, not yet, right direction, new direction, quite likely, unlikely, no need to worry. So those, depending on the question, could insinuate some timing. And then let's see. So then those have the closest would be in season, off season, which is really like now versus not now. Not ever, which timing wise would insinuate no. And showtime, maybe could be like hell yes, you're in the spotlight kind of thing. Yeah, so I figured is about the same. I just wasn't totally sure it had something different. Yeah, ju- like just almost like insinuated timing. So I've been debating on. You're welcome, Cat Goddess. By the way, I don't know if I said anything. I've been debating on like going live on TikTok ahead of my YouTube and like drawing people to come here on Fridays. I'm weirdly nervous about it in the same way I was weirdly nervous about originally going live on Instagram and then going live on YouTube and then also going live on Twitch. So I feel like it's just something I have to get over, so to speak. But I kind of want to try it out because I know TikTok has a lot of visibility. As much as the TikTok community annoys me, I've been doing a little like market research, and I found some people that I really like that they have more followers than me, but not by much, maybe twice as many. And then have the kind of community around them that I like and give the kind of readings that I like. So, yeah. Am I missing Jock's question? Whoop. All right, let's see. Seven of Swords and the World. Excuse me. Sorry. Let me grab some water real quick. So could go either way here. We have the Seven of Swords and then the World card. They're conflicting energy in the sense that the Seven of Swords, excuse me, sorry. Seven of Swords is air energy mixed with the World card, which is earth energy, and they don't like to necessarily play well together. Kind of conflict in a sense. So Seven of Swords is I would say overall, this feels like maybe no, in that you need to pivot. But I also like to caveat, I'm a girl slinging cards on the internet. Please don't make any rash decisions about your life based off of these cards. Um, but I feel like maybe where you're going down is maybe a little bit of a false path. Um, Seven of Swords is indicative of um like false truths and things. Just things are being are a little bit more deceptive than you realize, and it probably requires a little bit more thought in that aspect. The World card reversed feels very incomplete. So let me back up and say that good is subjective, right? To me, feeling incomplete, and to me, feeling like, maybe there's something better out there, uh, doesn't jive with me. It's not something that I would necessarily want, but for others, it might be fine. As long as things are fine, then it's, not a big deal. Um, but if what you're looking for is like that feel of achievement, that feel of completion and contentment, I don't see it here based off of the path that you're currently going down. So, I do want to also caveat that it's not that I see that things are bad in the sense that you'll end up jobless or you won't get the money that you want. It just may not be as fulfilling as you initially thought. That's the takeaway from this. Um so yeah, you kind of take that how you will. If this is a career that's almost a stepping stone into another career and you're already very aware of that, then maybe this is matching exactly what you're thinking. And then that could mean like, you know, it might look good down the line, but right now it is what it is. I saw Luke. Are you telling me or someone else? Sorry if I was unclear. Oh man, nice crack going on my back. Yeah, you're totally welcome. Have a good day or night, wherever you are. Alrighty, guys. I am getting ready to get off of here. If you would like to hang out and talk divination, or if you want to join us for our spooky read, which we just started, join us on Discord. We're reading currently, an anthology by Jordan Peele, of all people, the creator of Get Out and Nope. We are reading Out There Screaming. I read the first story so far. It's a set of anthologies, which I'm learning I actually really love anthologies. Hey Ari, sorry you missed me. I am on my way out for the night. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you had a good week, and I hope you have a good weekend. Feel free to rewind and listen to the community read though. But yeah, so we're starting our spooky month read. I'm very excited. And then Sil and I are going to be doing an October October double unboxing of the Happy Halloween. I'm super excited. Luke joined us for our double unboxing of the Chubby Witches Oracle, Chubby Witches Night in Oracle, and I'm so excited to be doing another one. It went really well. So if you guys are interested in that, when are we meeting for that? I've lost a semblance of time. The 19th. We're going to be doing that on the 19th. So if you guys are interested, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our live streams, don't miss out on my live streams, and any other future videos I put out. Alrighty, guys, I will see you on the flip side. Thanks for joining.